Hello makers and welcome back to Mixed Media Masters. It's really good to have you here. Now, one of the things I love most about being a mixed media artist is the mixed part. It means I get to work on a lot of different types of projects. I get to experiment and try new things, and I don't get stuck in a rut. And I find as an artist, I like the exploration of new materials and trying things I've never tried before. Now, I know it's a little scary for some people, right? Because I might not be good at that thing I've never tried before. But you know what? You're not going to get good at anything until you go out there and give it an attempt. So today, we're going to try something I've actually never done before, which is painting rocks. Yeah, I know. We always see those, people taking rocks and painting them into whimsical animals and other fun things. Well, we're going to do a little bit more of an abstract type of project today, using some rocks. For example, here in front of me, I'm kind of laying some things out here, and I have some rocks I'm putting into a grid. Now, these are rocks I picked up visiting a friend who lives by the ocean, and I said, what an interesting combination of possibilities here. So I picked up some white rocks. These are quartz, I believe, and just something as a foundational background that I could use. And I'm thinking of a grid pattern that might work out here. Now, as a kind of a temporary, I painted up a rock, again, using some sort of more of an abstract motif to give myself just a sense of what these things would look like. And I'm really happy with the bright colors. I'm going to add a little bit more here, but what I'm thinking I want to do here is get started kind of prepping my rocks, get some colors on them. I'm going to use 3 or 4 different colors to kind of really just draw the eye to various parts, and we'll do each one of the rocks up independently. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of my backing board, since that's what I'm going to be using as the actual foundation for my art. Don't want to get paint on that just yet. So we'll move these guys off here. And again, how we approach this is entirely up to what we want to be able to do, right? There's no right answer for this. What I would like to do is show you a few methodologies for how we can take these rocks and prep them for what we want to do. Now, like the rock that I've already kind of tested on here, what I did here is I did some masking on the rock. I actually used some adhesive tape, some Scotch tape here, to be able to create a nice clean line of where I want my paint to go. And then just kind of figure out how to divide colors up, let some of the natural rock color come through, if that's relevant. And again, I can do this in any way that I want. The overall objective, of course, is that when we assemble all 9 of these elements together, it's going to be very eye-catching, very interesting to look at. Okay? That is the goal. So, first things first, let's talk about masking rocks. I know, that's probably a word I've never actually said before in my entire life. Let's go mask some rocks. I'm going to start with one of my larger rocks, just because it's going to give me a little bit more real estate to work with. Again, I'm using Scotch Magic Tape here, and the reason I use this for 2 reasons. One, it's waterproof, so that when you paint on it, it doesn't pucker up. It makes it a lot easier to hold down. Also, we're painting on rocks, which are a curved surface, and the flexibility of the Scotch tape will allow us to go around those curves pretty well and do a good job of sealing things up. So I'm going to take a small piece of tape here. It doesn't have to be hugely long, depends on the size of my rock. And I'm going to come over to my rock here, and I'm going to say, all right, what is it I want to basically mask off? I want to cover the part I don't want to paint and really just focus on the part I do want to paint. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to run a line. Again, I know this is invisible tape, and I'm not sure how well you can see that. But I put this tape on the rock because I want to cordon off most of the rock, and I want to leave this edge over here as something that I can paint on. That's going to be the objective. And one of the things also to consider is which side of the rock do you want to paint on. You might want to make that assessment as you're masking things. And, if one side is a little rougher than the other, or there's some sort of a thing you don't like, you can just get it on the back side here. And then just figure out how you want to mask that. And I'm just going to make sure the tape is smoothed down pretty well there. All right? So there we go. Now, next thing, and I'm going to just experiment here on this single rock, is figure out what kind of paint you want to work with here. Now, I like this kind of bright orange that I have. I have it right here. And so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get this into a palette. Just I don't need huge amounts, but enough to just be able to work with here. Let me get some. There we go. That's probably a nice place to start. Now I'm also noticing that there is it's incredibly thick paint. And while I don't hate that, let me change this paintbrush out. While I don't hate that, I find that sometimes it's a little too thick. So I'm gonna get a little bit of water in here. It doesn't have to be a huge amount, but a little bit of water just to thin my paint out just a tiny bit. And again, we don't want to break down the binder in the paint by overwatering it, but I do want this paint to go on a little more smoothly than it did during my test, which is It's a thick, pasty paint, so you're going to run into that sometimes. What I probably would do in most cases is use a liquid medium, but if I'm being totally honest, I'd have to get up and go find it, and that's not what I'm doing right now. So a little water will do the trick with what we want to be able to do here. And just give you an opportunity, just get that smoothed out a little bit. There we go. I don't want it to be too thin. That's not the objective because I want this paint to cover fairly well, but just an opportunity to get this to happen. Let me get my brush sort of, there's a lot on it right now. And again, I'm going to take my sample rock here, and I'm going to try to do the best I can of painting away from my masked line. And the reason I'm painting away from it is I don't want to force paint under the wire, if you will. It just makes it a lot easier to control that line. So I'm going to paint away, and I'm also going to hit the back. Hard to hold onto rocks while you're painting them, by the way. I'm going to hit the back a little bit, just in case I make decisions later on that I want to change which side is my dominant side. All right. So there we go. So that doesn't look so bad. I'm going to try to smooth out my paint lines best I can. Now, my experience in my previous attempts on this is that it's probably going to take more than one coat of paint to make all this happen. So I'm probably going to have to come back here and do a little bit in just a few minutes. In the meantime, why don't I come in here again, another piece of tape, another rock, and I'll come in here and I'm going to put this one at kind of more of an angle. And again, we don't have to paint all of the rocks with the same colors. We can vary them. This has a kind of a flaw in the back of it, so I'm going to make this the side I want to present. And get my tape sealed down there, and then again, just painting away from the seam of the tape, and just get that covered best I can. There we go. That looks okay. That looks okay. Again, it's going to be a multi-coat type of thing. So that's the basics of what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to go back through the rest of my rocks here, and some of them I'm going to give a little bit of orange to. Some of them I won't, because I want to use some of the other colors. And I'm going to come back. I may actually use the pink. I think I have a blue color in here that will pop those nicely between those. Maybe some green. We'll find out. Anyway, I'm going to work on that. You come back in just a moment and see how we've progressed, and we'll figure out where to take it from there. All right, welcome back. Now, I've given the rocks time to dry, and sometimes it takes 20, 30 minutes. These have had a little bit longer than that. A couple of coats of paint, and actually now the fun part is the reveal, because now you get to take the tape off and get a sense of how good your lines came out, how well your lines came out, something like that. And let me just get the tape off of here. And again, I'm looking for something that's fairly clean from a line standpoint. I can live with that, certainly. And let's try this one here. They're all wrapped up like little Christmas presents right now, so I have to hack my way in here. Let's see, we have, that's a nice clean line. All right, that works out really well. So again, I painted only some of these, the color of choice here, because I want to be able to lay down additional colors. So I'm going to grab, it's actually a fluorescent pink. Yeah, it's a little bright. But that's the objective here. And I'm going to come in here and, again, I'm going to get this into a palette. And I think this one's a little thinner than the orange was. Let's see. It's about the same. But again, what I'm going to do is work with that paint. And the next thing I need to do is get back to taping up some of my rocks here. So let me grab the rock I haven't yet put anything on. I will presume that we'll put some paint right on this end over here. There I am, dropping rocks again. It happens. And let's get our paintbrush in here and grab some of that. And painting away from the line. Oh, that's going to pop beautifully. That's going to pop really, really nice. And I suppose, if you want, you can see it under a black light, if that was your objective. All right. There we go. Nice fluorescent pink coming into play. So, like that. Let me just paint one of these up with you. And let's say that we want to come in here and have this particular rock have this this side over here be pink. We'll do something similar. Again, let me seal my tape down so nothing goes underneath there, crawls under the fence. I want a nice straight line if I can. And we'll make that happen. And again, this may take more than one coat to reach my objective. But, yeah, it's getting there. All right. So once again, I'm going to smooth those out, and they're going to need more than one coat of paint to get there. So let me jump back in here, do some painting. You don't have to watch every step of the way. But when you come back, we're going to talk about adding our third color, maybe a fourth color, and we'll see what happens after that. Okay, welcome back. So I've had an opportunity to, again, the great reveal, taking the tape off of the different rocks, and now I'm going to work on a new color. I'm going to grab some of this kind of teal turquoise blue color. Again, this is a fairly thick-bodied paint. It's a little bit thinner than the other ones, so we may not have to water this down a little bit. I'm getting some tape on my rock, and again, just going to make sure I smooth it down so we have a place to work. Oh, this looks fairly nice. Good coverage on this. Yeah, I'm just going to get that on the other side of the rock. Nice, 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 nice. And, you know, I'll get a little bit around the edges. Again, I'm not worried too much about how this is going to work when it gets put in position. There it is. Let's see what else we have in here that might work. Actually, let me do something. Okay, so I'm going to mask along the orange that I have right here, right along the edge. I'm going to lay the blue down right next to it. I'm going to just have a small overlap of color right there. But again, on this edge, just like that, that should work out beautifully. Yeah, this blue is nice and smooth. Loving that. Nice and smooth. Okay, there we go. And once again, I'm going to add some colors here. We unfortunately can't call this a 1 hour masterpiece because it does take some time for the paint to dry in between layers. I guess unless you really just wanted to smush it around a little bit. But once again, it's just going to be a matter of trying to find some good angles and get some colors. I think I have one more color I'm going to add a little bit, not to all of these pieces, but to a few of them as I come back in here. So anyway, when you come back, we'll have a new reveal to share with you. Okay, welcome back. Now it's been a few hours, giving paint an opportunity to dry, and as you can see, I've added a few additional colors. We have some greens in here, we have the blues in here, and yeah, overall the pieces look different. They look kind of fun. And the last thing to do is start getting them mounted on our backing board here for the shadow box we're going to be working with here. Let me just make a hole to work in here. And, you know, like most things we're doing, there's no wrong answer, but there could be better answers. And one of the things I would like to do is perhaps, you know, just figure out the balance of what rock should go where. I have kind of the heavier, larger rocks that I think are going to be kind of the centerpiece for things. I don't know, maybe it looks better like that. And then kind of start to put the other rocks, and I'll figure out the best pattern overall. Good thing about dry fit here is that there's nothing that says it has to be done any particular way, and how I want to orient the rocks, maybe point this down instead of up. And again, I'm just trying to eyeball this and get a sense of what might work and what may not work. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of happy with what I'm seeing here. It's really fun. The colors are good. One of the things I will mention, because we are dealing with rocks have the tendency to be heavy, so using smaller rocks is going to make our life a little bit easier here in this instance. And what we're doing is we're working with a hot glue gun here to mount these rocks on. So something that will stick to the back of the rock and stick to our backing board, which is fabric lined, which will help. So I'm going to start by grabbing one of my rocks and get a generous dollop, if you will, of hot glue on the back of it. And then I'm going to position it back where it is and press it firmly into place. And I'm going to just go across the top row here. And again, you want to have enough glue in there to make it so we can handle the weight of the rock. Now these, you know, these are relatively small still, but they weigh certainly a lot more than a piece of paper does. We'll just get those right in there like that. Try to position them. That's why I like to dry fit it first, because now you have a sense of where everything's going to be. Let's come down here, get this rock adhered. Go. Got a little bit of that on my fingers. You notice that, by the way. Hot glue, yeah. Yeah, you notice when that happens. This guy here, kind of our centerpiece. Let's get a big dollop right in there. And we'll get you positioned right like that. Oh, it's a thing of beauty. Okay. And let's get that in there like this. Kind of just have that at a slight angle. I think that looks more interesting like that. Cool. I like this one the way it is. And get that right in there like that. Press it down. This guy's going to cross the bottom like this. Yay. And again, you get a little wiggle room before it sets. This guy, well, it's kind of an interesting one just by itself there. And there we go. All right, so again, I'm just going to kind of check each one of these. Got little strands of hot glue that got little spider webs here I can pull off as well, so I don't end up having this background of plastic in here. But and this is an opportunity for us to also just kind of test this. Yeah, it's on there. It's on there nice and sturdy, which I'm happy about. So there we are. All right, and again, if there's any little cleanup, we can do that in here right now. A little more glue in there. But finally, I'm going to come in here, and I might find a way to figure out how to sign my piece. It's a little hard to sign, but I'm going to come and I'm going to put it back into the frame from once it came, and that's what it's going to look like inside the shadow box. I think that is a handsome, handsome, handsome piece. Again, the color's good. It's not crazy heavy, which is nice. But let me just seal these shut here. This has got a thing that actually would sit on a wall very comfortably, pretty easy to do. And again, that was really the objective of this lesson. A little bit of time in between painting, but it's not hard to paint up a few rocks or even find the rocks, and being able to have something that looks really good inside this 6" by 6" shadow box. I don't know. It's a cool project. So really pleased with how it came out. Good thing to sit on a wall, as a gift to a friend, or anything you want to do with it. Anyway, that's what today's project is all about. I hope you found some interest in this, and maybe to spurn some ideas of your own to just say, hey, what can I do with stuff I have? I like a good grid pattern because it allows us, again, to create something that's kind of interesting by taking slightly different objects and put them together in a grid to bring them all together. That's what we have for today. If you love what we did here, you know what? We drop a video every single week. We'd love to be able to share more content with you and ask that you would join our growing family. Yeah, become a subscriber. Hit that button down below. We'll let you know whenever a video drops. That's what we have for today. Thanks so much for being here. I'm Spider, and I'll see you next time.